And we have a number of people that are, well, some people that have been on the podcast, someone that's new to the podcast. I think first off, new, we have one of our current students, and I will let her introduce herself. Angelina, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Angelina Cho. I'm a sophomore studying computer science here at USC. I transferred here last semester, so that's fall 2025, from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I am from the Bay Area.
Okay, from the Bay Area. What high school did you go to in the Bay Area?
I went to this private Christian high school called Valley Christian High School.
Yeah, I know it, Valley Christian. And you spent how long at UW-Madison?
I spent 2 semesters, so a full year,
A
my
full year
entire freshman
there.
year.
And then, so you've now
Yep.
been at USC for one semester. In short, how has it been? What were you thinking it was going to be like? What is it like now?
I thought it wasn't going to be like a ton better than UW-Madison. I definitely knew I was going to enjoy the weather, but this has been the best time of my life. Honestly, like last semester was the best semester I've ever had, and overall, I just love it here.
Wait, you said you didn't think it was going to be better?
Well, I thought it was going to be a little bit better, but I think the first semester I was at UW-Madison, I hated it there. And then by the
Oh,
second semester, I had
you
kind
got
of made
friends.
more friends. I
Yeah.
like joined clubs. So I liked it a lot more by that point. But so then I didn't think the transition from, second semester of
You
my
thought it'd
freshman
be like
year.
level to level, like it would just be a
Yeah.
lateral move, like, oh, I'll just do that somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you found what? You found it like excitingly better, like I guess.
Yes, just
Wow.
better in every single aspect of
Wow.
my college experience that I could look
Well,
for.
very happy for you. Well, good. Well, we're glad that you're here, and we're glad that you're enjoying the sunshine and not the, I don't know, what is it in Madison, Wisconsin today? What weather?
I
What's the
think
weather like?
I think I checked yesterday was -10. So,
Negative 10. And here we are with,
love it
what is
here.
it, 75
Sick,
today? Something like
definitely. Yep.
that. All right. And also joining us are two of our staff that are seasoned experts in the transfer admission process. Becky, you want to introduce yourself?
Maybe seasoned. I don't know about expert, but hi, everyone. My name is Becky. I'm Director of Undergraduate Admission for the Viterbi School of Engineering. I have been here for quite a few years working with transfer students the whole time I'm here, and glad to be on the podcast today.
Brooke.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name is Brooke Hyman, and I'm the Associate Director of Undergraduate Admission at Viterbi. And I've been here, I'm not as seasoned. I've been here, this is going into my third year, and working with transfer students is one of my favorite parts of my role. So I'm excited to be here today.
All right. Well, definitely experts, in my opinion, on the admission process and specifically transfer admission and working with transfer students all the time. We wanted to get this group together to have a conversation about the transfer admission kind of FAQs. What are the typical things that students are asking? What are they worried about? Sometimes their questions
Mm.
are misguided fears. Sometimes they're legit, objective, quantifiable questions. Sometimes they're somewhere in the middle. And so we want to get through that. And should we start with kind of a bare bones, like as far as like how to apply and what the deadlines are?
I'll go ahead and
Yeah.
our fall 2026 transfer deadline is coming up here February 15th. I believe that's a Sunday. Is
Yeah,
that
it's a
right?
Sunday.
It's a Sunday, and if you're applying for fall 2026, you need to submit that application. The common application is how you apply as a transfer student by 11:59 p.m. in your time zone on Sunday, February 15th. And then we will get decisions out by the end of May, and it will either be a decision or we will request for spring grades. So, and we can talk a little bit more about that later.
I want to stress a couple of things about this transfer application process, especially what Becky said about transcripts. I think everybody gets super focused on transcripts. They wonder when to send them, how to send them. And I think sometimes people believe that submitting an application is the last step. And then quite honestly, submitting your application is what opens your file. If you think of it that way, it doesn't close your file. And so submitting an application opens your file. And then then you can submit those transcripts that then go in that file. And as you go through the course of the term, like for example, when you apply, maybe you didn't have certain terms available to you. Some of you are on quarter systems, some of you are on semester systems, some of you have a winter term that may be in progress right now. And what's most important is that when you have new information specifically related to academics. So when you have new transcripts available, it is in your best interest to consistently update your file, to consistently update that information. But do not do the reverse. Do not send in transcripts and then send in the application, because it's oftentimes very confusing and that can cause a delay. A little bit more on the timeline here that was alluded to, because this is the most important part. And we get a lot of calls the day after someone completed their transfer application saying, so when am I going to know? And in most situations, we haven't processed any of that information. Some of you are sending in transcripts from different sources, from different schools. It's going to take a while. So that's why we have this deadline so early, is that it's going to take time to first receive, to compile, and to process those documents of different sources, and then review and compare for admission processing. So many times our admission review will not even start for weeks or months later, which is why the admission decision process, we will get back to every complete transfer applicant, meaning someone who submitted everything, with an admission decision or a request for spring grades by the end of May. Oftentimes we do a little earlier, but it's nothing that you're going to do is going to impact that unless you just don't complete your application. And so once you've applied, get those pieces of information in, and then over the next couple of weeks, there's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to engage with us on. Actually, the more you engage with us takes us away from the process we need to do. So let us do that work. And separately, watch your email. If the university needs anything from you, if you believe that you sent a transcript and we don't have it after a certain point, then we're going to contact you. And then you need to follow up on that and make sure you get us that document. Those are probably the most important things that I could possibly find, because oftentimes we get students that want to visit, want to sit down and meet with us. And the answer is no. Well, we have your application. That's what we're going to go off of. We don't need anything else, nor can we have the resources to do anything else beyond that. So I hope that helps clarify and put some finer points on that process.